You start out, and how many have seen Fiddler on the Roof and some of those movies? Every movie that has a yeshiva scene is basically the same. It's total chaos. I mean, they're yelling about each other's rabbis, and they're yelling across the room. You would think that at any moment they're going to strangle each other or get someone down in a fireman's carriage or whatever. And it seems like they're going to carry each other up. And when they're done, they head arm in arm. They head off to the pub or whatever, when they're done. They have no problem getting together and hashing it out and solving the problem. As opposed to us in the West, where we go to our different corners and we get on blogs, okay, and Facebook, okay, and we write about everybody else. This is basically what Facebook is accomplishing. It's doing the best job of dividing people who were normally friends before that. Because people get on the Facebook, as you well know, and they say the most terrible things about each other. Why? Because they can, kind of thing. And so they would argue. They would always start out, it was an order that they went through. When they had a subject, a biblical passage, first they would name the rabbi that they're currently under. My rabbi says, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy on the other side of the room would quote his rabbi. And you went older and older as you went. You started out with the younger ones, and pretty soon you're talking about the rebbes, not the rabbis, and the ravs instead of the rebbes, because there's an order to each one of those names, right? And then next thing you know, they would quote Isaiah. But Yeshayahu said, right? And then the next one, the highest that you could go in yeshiva was Moses. But Moshe said, and that's as far as you could go. Why? Because the next step is guess who? Yeah, the Father. Okay? So when someone would say that Moses said, and then Yeshua would say, you've heard it said of old, meaning something that Moses said, but then Yeshua said, but I say unto you, what was he saying? He was saying, I'm God. I'm Yahweh. I'm creator. That's what he was saying. They should have gone absolutely nuts. Okay, but that's the way it is in Yeshua. I'll say, let's go back to the beginning. I want to convince you of something, and I'm only going to do this for the next few minutes. I want to convince you of something first. And I hope you'll agree with me when we're done. Now, what I'm about to ask you is rhetorical. That means you don't answer it. You just think about it in your mind. Okay? And if you're thinking about something, I hope you're doing it in your mind in the first place. Is anybody here thinking through their elbow or knee? You got something. I just don't know why we say that. I was thinking in my mind, well, goodness, I hope that's what English language is very bizarre to me. I've told this story over and over. It just happened to me. There's no reason it comes to my mind. We're coming down there, stop in the convenience store, get a cup of coffee, walk in the convenience store, put the cup of coffee on the counter, and inevitably the clerk says, is that everything? No, it's just a cup of coffee. I can't afford everything. Okay? And it's just our language. It's just a strange bunch of people. You know what it is. Okay. But, okay. So here's what I'm going to convince you of. If someone said to you, remember, I want to keep this in mind. If someone said to you, you only get to choose one word to describe the entire Bible. All 138 passages. To describe, or not passages, but 138
books.
Yeah, something. I can't remember. 138 something. Verses. There was 138,000 verses. Now I got it straight. Okay. And someone said to you, you only get one word to choose to describe everything from Genesis to Revelation. What word would you choose? Now, don't say it out loud. But I want you to keep in mind that the Bible is filled with more than just people. There's the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. Okay. What was that? Okay, anyway. There's more things than just people. Someone thought that was funny. Okay. What word do you think that would be? I'm going to suggest there's only one logical word that you could choose, and that would be life. Our Father's all about life. And not just life, but remember Yeshua said, I came in this world that you might have life. Life. And not just life, but more abundant life. Every commandment, every statute, every commandment of our God, I've said that twice, is designed for one purpose, to produce life. Every commandment is designed to produce life. Even capital punishment for certain crimes is designed to propagate and cause life to thrive. And I've said this many times that when something doesn't produce life, generally the Father calls it an abomination. Homosexuality in the Bible is an abomination unto God. Why? Because they're evil, wicked, mean, and nasty. Don't step on the grass, sing. Now, those of you my age knew what I was talking about. The rest of you going, what in the world? No, because there's lots of heterosexuals that are just as evil, wicked, mean, and nasty. Okay, it's because what does the behavior do? It stops life. The Father's into life. He wants to produce life. And so so I want you to get that in your mind, that everything is designed to produce life. Now we're going to go back to the beginning, and I'm not going to have time to do it tonight, but we'll set the stage for it. And we're going to see that the days, pretty much every day, but there's a couple of days of a different explanation. When the Father's done with the day, He's going to call it good. Now I'm going to need the board to do the rest of this, so we'll do it tomorrow night. Everything is going to be declared good, and then when He's done, He's not going to use the word tov miod until everything is finished. Then He's going to say, now His creation is tov miod, very good. See, in English, very good. Some people read that and think, well, very good means like super duper duper good. But in Hebrew, tov miod means it brings vitality, strength, and life to it now. And when you say the Shema, some of you say the Shema in your Torah portions of the Ahavta. You get to the Ahavta part, the Ahavta et Adonai, Eloheka, V'Kalavaka, V'Kalavashkav, V'Meodeka. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and Meodeka. Strength, life, vitality, everything. So we say that word all the time when we quote the Ahavta in our Torah portions. So the whole idea is to put strength and vitality in it. So what we're going to see tomorrow, and this is I'm going to relate this to the commandments and everything Paul says. We'll wrap all this thing up into one beautiful thing, I hope, when we get done. And that is, each individual thing may be declared good, but if you read it chronologically, none of those things by themselves produce life. Everything that happens on day one, there's no life in it. There's no life in the water yet. There's no life in the light. There's no life in any of that. Then later on, day 3, 4, and 5, now He's going to fill the waters with the sea creatures. He's going to fill the heavens with the fowl, and He's going to fill the ground with the seed and the herb-bearing plants. Now, when that's all done, and He adds the humans to it, there's your problem. Everything was just fine until they came along. And that's revealed in the phrase, and men began. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. Now, chaos ensues, but including the humans, now He said this is very good. Because of all those things He created in all those days, all work together. They produce life. Even though each thing may be good in and of itself, if it doesn't work together, it can't produce life. Does that sound familiar? And if we get that, we can go ahead and do something else in the next 3 nights. We understand the idea that as individuals in the body of Messiah, we may be good in God's eyes. We may be designed for a purpose, which is what we're going to talk about, but if we don't work together, if things don't happen together, the whole system falls apart. It can't produce life. Males are good, females are good, but if they don't get together, you don't have life. In more ways than one. All right? And who's the one that initiates that? The male. The male initiates that. We love him because he first loved us. That's the principle from beginning to end. So we'll talk about good and very good tomorrow night, and we'll put that together with God's first work, and I hope you'll see why we need to restore that brazen altar, or at least the understanding of that brazen altar, to the next generation. Because and this is the last thing I'm going to say too, and I'm going to say it now. What scares me most is I don't want to see our children, if the Messiah tarries, I don't want to see our children and our grandchildren. I don't want to see that fire come down from heaven and consume them. I want the fire to come down from heaven and consume the offering, not them. All right? Father, in the name of Yeshua, once again, we thank You for this wonderful evening. We thank You for the praise and the worship. We thank You for the fellowship. We thank You for all the hard work that all these ministries that are involved in this have been doing to put this thing together. We praise You for those offerings that may come in, Father, so we can all rejoice to the fullest in what You have for us in this walk. May You be blessed in everything we say and do for the rest of this beautiful feast of Yours. In Your precious name, amen. Amen. See you guys tomorrow night.